So coming from a background of numerical weather prediction, I always thought naively that if I could improve the forecast skill, I would save more lives. And it turns out that it's really the last mile. Even if you have a perfect forecast, if you can't get the information to the people, it's totally useless. And so having a way to distribute the watches and warnings, and particularly in regions that don't have good cell coverage,
right.
I think there's an opportunity to modernize NOAA weather radio. And then one of the things that we haven't talked about today that I think is really fascinating and I would love to be a focus is edge computing.
At this critical point in time, there is also the need to redefine the telecommunications infrastructure around the world as well by leveraging AI. The convergence between AI and telecoms presents an unprecedented opportunity for renewed U.S. leadership globally.
For our country to really reach the scale that it can be, for it to be successful, we need to be the leader in the world of 5G and 6G. So
new era we're entering it. From eVTOLs, drones, autonomous vehicles, to space travel, we're in a global race to out-innovate and out-compete the rest of the world.
This budget invests $25 billion in Golden Dome for America, a down payment on President Trump's priority to defend our homeland. It also significantly increases funds to buy next-generation technology, including autonomous systems, long-range drones, long-range fires, and hypersonics.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to build the rebuild the air traffic control system. We need to lay fiber. We need new radios. We need new terminals for our air traffic controllers. They sit in a terminal and they're using old floppy disks. They have headphones where they're using jacks to plug in. It's kind of out of 1980.
And that's another area we need to be considerate of. I mean, Secretary Duffy is dealing with a great deal with the federal, transportation, with air and traffic. Those bans are what they're using. So, statement, we will have Golden Dome. That was a clear and concise message. I can tell you that my boss, the SecDef, and the deputy have definitely made that a priority. But spectrum is something I would look at as the critical resource. It's like beachfront property. There's no more of it. It's laws of physics. We do need to look at ways to share it in a sensible, realistic manner going down this goes along with my thought and belief that we must do more in the non-kinetic sense with the spectrum, right? To have AI and sensing to not have a kinetic event happen. And that's what Golden Dome really is about, is sensing when there is a...
It allowed us to do the high-performance computing at the edge. We now see this as a kind of a spectrum of not so much of here's all the things that the operator does in the rear versus here's what's happening out at the front, but really how do you enable the warfighter I'll say at AI at echelon, and because we know
clearly we need to develop autonomy in significant numbers with a central.
Focusing on edge computing to enhance operational resilience. Command, control, and communications are fundamental to military effectiveness, and our prioritization initiatives like CJAD-C2, Global Command Control Systems Joint, electromagnetic spectrum operations, dynamic spectrum sharing, spectrum IT modernization, 5G implementation, and position navigation and timing modernization to ensure information superiority.
How is that going to fundamentally change the way we fight? Yep. Robotics and autonomy is the best, and artificial intelligence is the best example I have. It's going to fundamentally change the way we're going to fight. And then, so how do you account for that in future concepts?
The UAV thing we're seeing, unmanned aerial system, is really the leading edge of a major tech disruption of the land domain. So it's going to be UAVs and robots, and how do you...
And then the really big one that I think is really going to be revolutionary is the nexus of humans and machines. So figuring out how to optimize the integration of humans and machines. So it's a tech, it's a big, autonomy is kind of the center of gravity of that problem, but not to replace humans with robots.
We know that services like artificial intelligence, spatial computing, intelligent transportation, and autonomous systems will require an intelligent infrastructure to support scaled adoption. National sovereignty and global productivity will go to the nation that deploys the intelligent infrastructure enabling Industry 4.0 by engaging the greater ecosystem of partners. Infrastructure investors, real estate developers, engineering firms, master plan communities, energy producers, vertiport companies, property and title companies, attorneys, economic development groups, etc. A new multi-trillion-dollar industry requires infrastructure.